Hey, hi
Hey,
everybody.
Miss Sandy, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
That's good.
Sorry for the long-windedness of that, and
Every
That's
so
all
often
right.
we like to banter back and forth. It's fun.
it is true though that you were in a Playboy, correct? Because I know Mark has a couple of copies of floating around.
No, I checked my copies to see if I had her, and I guess I must have got rid of that one on accident. I was trying to keep all the right ones, but that's besides the point.
Yes, that is true. June 1974.
I told you. I know the day.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, let's introduce everybody to you, Miss Sandy Johnson. Where
Didn't
are
we
you
already do that?
from? Where are you from? And what's going on in your life?
I am originally from San Antonio, Texas. I currently reside in Fort Worth, Texas. And what's going on? Well, let's see, we're building a new house, so we're about to close and have a humongous move, which is rather stressful. And then let's see, I have three cons coming up. Only one really can I announce yet, and that one is in North Carolina at the Myers House, North Carolina, which if you've never seen it or been there, it is a very cool place.
Hold on, wait a minute. His house is in North. I thought it was in California.
It is. The North Carolina is a exact copy of the outside made with the actual blueprints. And a guy named Kenny had it built, and he does special events there. He's got a huge screen out in front of it, so he shows movies. He does, I think, on-set cinema is the name of his company, and he goes around to original locations, invites people to go there with him, and then he shows the original film that goes with the location. And he travels all over and does this.
That's
But
cool.
when I go to the Myers House, North Carolina, I get to stay in Judith's room.
A little scary there.
Yeah, so it's fun. So yeah, that's what's going on. I have some films coming up. I'm going to be shooting some here in the next few months. So that's awesome. I shot
Yes, it
my
is.
first one in person. I've shot some, uh, online, but my first one was in Florida, and The Executioner is the name of it. And I have a very nice role as a psychiatrist. And I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I seen that when I was looking through your films because I was gonna sit there and try to watch some of them, but some of them they don't have online anymore, so I couldn't
No,
watch. So I
you
had to
can
go.
still get Gas Pump Girls, I think, and probably Hot. And actually, those are the two best ones. Those are my favorites.
You're not a
Uh,
fan of the Monty Python ones?
I'm not actually in a Monty Python movie
How,
unless
how
they.
did that get into your is
IMDb.
in your IMDb? Yeah.
I have no idea. Unless they put me in the film and I didn't know.
Well, I mean, they could have easily put the Playboy issue in it. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's something in there. I should probably go watch it because I really like Monty Python.
Yeah.
And I'd be happy if I was in there. But as far as I know, I'm
No, see,
Learn something new.
yeah.
Learn something new today. What so in the meantime, while you're closing on your house and doing all that, what do you do for fun when you're not filming, when you're not
not.
what are you doing for yourself for fun?
Well, I do like to garden and walk, and I love to travel. So we've done quite a bit of that. I love crafts. I love to make jewelry and things like that. I love to sew, and I love animals. So all of those things, and my friends, of course, all of those things bring me just happiness.
Hmm. She's got a.
Very nice.
I got a few things in common with her. You know, I got a shit ton of animals. I love
And he
animals.
sews.
No, no. I like some of my friends. Brian,
Hey,
well, that's a different story.
wait, we're calling each other friends now?
Yeah, we're more like family. Known each
Exactly.
other. We've known each other long enough.
This is true. Do you have anybody like Mark in your life? Do you have a friend, a super close friend that you consider your family? Somebody that you kind of grew up with?
Absolutely. My best friend that lives in Georgia, we have been best friends since we were probably 13.
Oh wow.
Yes.
That's
So,
about the age that we were when we
Yeah.
met.
Yeah.
But we won't tell that story. We've told it
Well,
enough.
is your best friend still in Georgia?
she is. I mean, we met in California. I lived a long time in California with my dad, and that's where we met. We met in middle school
Okay.
and both in drama and became very good friends. And we have stayed uh, just best friends for all these years.
That's cool.
What's her
Yep.
name?
Her name is Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Hmm.
I-
And I
Is
call her
she-
Lizard or Lizzie or Tinkerbell. I have a whole bunch of names for her.
well, I hope she's watching. I hope she's watching, or at
I
least hears this later, because I'm sure that she'd love that shout out that you gave her there.
Yeah.
I could tell you some of the nicknames I have for Brian, but they're not nice.
Yeah, and that's same. Let me ask you, what so I did a little reading and little research
Don't
just on
know
the
how to read.
Okay, I had Mark read for me when I was going to sleep last night, and he was no, I'm just, so I heard, and I don't know how true this is, but the blood that was used in the very first Halloween movie, there was some problems with it. It was very sticky. It was hard to get off of your skin, your hair, or whatever. Is that accurate? And what did they do? How did they alleviate you of?
Well, it wasn't so much that there was anything wrong with the blood. It was hard to get off, and whoever they had scrubbing it off of me was kind of rough. So that was my problem with the situation, is that they weren't being as gentle as they needed to be, considering the part of my body they were scrubbing.
Understood. Understood. And then you had somebody help you with that portion. Is that right? The person that was cleaning the blood off of you was a little harsh, so somebody stepped in and helped you out.
Right. That would have been Jamie Lee.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
So she understood, because I'm sure that I don't know. Did Jamie Lee ever get any of that blood on her, so she knew like,
She
hey, this is what?
They probably used the same blood at the end of the movie that they did in the beginning. So she probably knows. And it's something that Sandy will probably tell you is her scene was done last.
Oh,
So
it went back. The film went backwards.
they don't shoot it all in order. They
Right.
shoot it all in different parts.
There was actually a reason why the first scene, which was mine, was actually filmed last, and it had to do with the Myers house. When they first found it as a location, it was in really bad condition. So they had to fix it all up for the scenes and stuff. And then to make it, sorry, it was all dilapidated. So they had to shoot those scenes first. Sorry, I got it backwards. So when it was all dilapidated is when it's later in the film and it's been 18 years or whatever, and Michael comes back and it's really run down and creepy and all that. That's actually the way it looked in the beginning.
Okay.
So they shot all those scenes with it like that when the kids are coming up to it and everything. And then whenever I was in it, they needed it to look nice. So now they needed to fix it up. So they used it first as it was, and then they fixed it up to make it look like a family lived there. So that's why they did my scene last.
Was that house actually owned by someone, or was that something that they found and then purchased or rented? Do you know?
I'm not sure about that. If it was just something they rented, it was empty, so it might have
Mhm.
just been a rental property or something in between.
Were you scared at any point on the set?
Absolutely. When I was upstairs, it was a very old house and it definitely creaked and stuff like an old house. And I could hear them coming to get me. I could hear them coming up the stairs and they were like creaking and stuff. And I could tell that they were getting closer and closer and closer to me. So that was very creepy, knowing that I'm about, to come face to face with a knife and stuff. So, yeah, that part was actually pretty scary.
That's the whole scene where it's behind the mask.
Right.
Yes.
Uh, did they hold a mask up to the camera to film that? What was that? I mean, just getting
Um,
the eyes having
yeah,
that.
that was actually done later. They
Okay.
they did pick up the mask, but the actual filming, I actually saw the original footage for the first time in the raw form about 4 or 5 months ago when I was in Florida shooting that film. The guy that bought that piece of film was there, and he put it up on the TV for me to see, and it was amazing. It showed the whole room. It showed the full stabbing, me falling, the whole thing, not just through the eye holes. So that was like the first time in all these years that I actually got to see the actual footage. So it was
That would be
incredibly
cool
cool.
that'd be cool to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, it was amazing. He's having trouble, I getting licensing to share it. He owns it, but he can't. He's not allowed to share it yet.
He owns it, but he has to get the uh yeah, people that own the rights to Halloween. It's
Right,
the
right.
Akkad
But he
family or
did show
something.
it to me, and so yeah, there was no mask. You can see the whole thing, and it was actually pretty cool to see that.
So with Michael Myers, let's say Judith is. Do you say she was the reason that Michael became the way that he became? Is that the way the story is supposed to play out, or do you feel that it was already inside of him?
Yeah, I always just kind of thought as Michael as a bad seed. If you're familiar with that book, just kind of bad news from birth, just something genetic went wrong in the
Oh,
process.
hold on, Sandy, 1 second. Brian, read the
Yes,
book. Read the book. It tells you everything that you need to know.
you're gonna come over and read me the book when I go to sleep tonight, right?
No, I'm waiting for the book to get here. I gotta
It's
wait till
actually
next month.
it's actually a kid's book uh,
Really?
called The Bad Seed, and it's about a kid that's basically was a bad seed. But anyway, that's where the term I think comes from, was from that book. But I think that's pretty much it. He was just something was wrong from the beginning,
Sure.
and I don't know that anything could have changed it one way or the other.
No,
Gotcha.
you just happen to be the one that pissed him off that night.
That was it.
You found the boiling point for him.
I did.
I think it was the way you said his name in the film.
No, she had her boyfriend over.
Yeah, yeah. I was fooling around instead of watching over him. So my bad for sure.
Now, have you watched any of the other Halloween movies?
I have watched them all with the exception of Rob Zombie. I everyone I have a couple people that are like my meter for gore, my gore meters, and they told me that
His is
that
way
might
gory.
yeah that might not be the best choice for me. So I
Well,
haven't
I was.
seen that, and I haven't seen Saw.
What?
Oh, come on. Saw is awesome. But again, yes, everybody has their own, I can watch horror movies, Saw movies, I watched Rob Zombie's movies. I like the first one. First Halloween that he did, the second one. Um, but I like some more of his movies too. But it just depends on how much you like in gore. But I mean, it'd be different if it was like Faces of Fear back in the 80s. You know, I didn't like those movies, but I
Right.
was also a kid with those, and you know, they showed weird stuff.
I
Um,
like um I like psychological horror
I do
more
too.
okay.
than just blood and stuff. They
Mm.
really don't have to have any blood to scare the hell out of me.
You just need that twist. You need to know like what's going on. You're
Right.
trying to get into that person's head and like,
Yeah, and you're thinking something else is going on, and
oh
that's not
yeah.
at all. And yeah, that's what I like the best.
I just watched Thanksgiving,
I
the
just
horror
watched
movie.
that last night.
Yeah, I liked it myself. I don't know, but
It was
it
okay.
it had a good twist to it. You know, you didn't think that the sheriff was gonna. Never mind. Anyways,
Ah,
Spoiler alert.
way to ruin stuff for people, Mark.
I didn't say
Jesus.
I didn't say anything on what the sheriff
You
did
might
or
as well tell us how Halloween ends.
which one. Which one? We going with the new version or the old version? You know.
Miss Sandy, if they could bring you back as your character because let's say it was all a dream and Michael didn't kill you, where do
Then
you think
we wouldn't
where do
have
you think
Halloween.
no. You still would because once again we're going into that psychological portion of it where
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So where do you think Judith Myers would fall in that kind of aspect if it was just a wake up and bam, the hell, why was I dreaming that? Why did my brother kill me? That kind of thing.
The way that I've always thought about it is if I was going to have a sequel, I would have not died. He would have attacked me, but I wouldn't have died, and they would have put me in some safe place. He wouldn't know initially that I didn't die, and they actually took me somewhere else for safekeeping. And that is where I would go ahead and grow up and everything, always terrified that Michael would escape or whatever, or figure out that I wasn't dead. So to me, it would have been that whole scenario of Michael looking for me because he thinks maybe I'm still alive.
Well,
Eh,
the reason I asked that question. There's a lot of fan films that focus around
Different
Friday the
characters.
13th
Right.
and Michael Myers and that kind of stuff. So, you know, just giving someone a little detail of like, hey, from this perspective, where do you go? You know, so that was my thought process. Like, hey, what if this never really happened and she wakes up and she's like, I swear to God, my brother stabbed me, and like you're you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
but see, I like her point better. It would have been better if he did attack her, but then we wouldn't have had Lori, which okay, I could see it going a different route instead. Um, I think it could be a different way of looking at it.
Sure.
Or we could still have Lori. The franchise could be exactly the same, except for the fact that uh,
He's still looking for you.
the sister didn't actually die. And at some point, he realizes that.
Well, I mean, according to part two, well, it depends on which part two you look at. You know, Lori was your sister too. So I mean, and that's why I say it depends on which part you're looking at. You know, because 2018, I liked how they you know rectified that. You know, that was just a lie that people made up. You know, but
Right.
then they went and destroyed the way that they ended it off.
It was allegedly.
Allegedly, whatever, Steven. He's gonna give me shit because last night I gave him shit on a different podcast.
So who wins the fight? I gotta ask this one. Who wins the fight? Because I watch a couple of TikTok videos. I don't know if you've ever seen them or not, but Jason versus Freddy versus Michael Myers. Who wins that battle?
Ooh. Wow. Well, that's a tough one because one is in dreams, which is hard to kill. But Michael is kind of supernatural. We can't. He just seems to survive everything, no matter what.
So does Jason, though.
So I'm thinking maybe Michael, just because he has some sort of supernatural thing that, I mean, he should have died so many times, and
So many times.
there he is again.
I'm still trying to figure out how come nobody shot him in the head. You know,
He's not a zombie.
he's been shot everywhere else, but not the freaking head.
We're gonna put you in the movie, Mark, and we're gonna let you go shoot him in the head and see if that stops him.
They need a sniper.
Oh my goodness. I say, here's the thing. Like, so watching some of these films, and when the man gets pinned between a rock and a hard place, basically, and he's not dead, that's a big problem. And then they're gonna say, what was it? She goes back to look for him. Jamie goes back to look for him, and it's not him or something. Is that
He's
what?
not there. He wasn't.
He's not there.
Right.
Not there.
That's why in 2018 they did that same thing with her falling out the window, landing on the ground. When he went to go look to see where she was at, she wasn't there. So they were doing a little reverse. Dude, sorry. I'm
Jason
sorry.
says, or he says Jason gets the win. Okay, I'm gonna say, guys, I quite honestly, it's Freddy Krueger, because you're never gonna pull him out of a dream and try to kill him.
Bullshit.
I'm sorry, you're
Bullshit.
just not gonna do it.
I call bullshit.
Well,
Freddy has
we'll discuss
in
that.
every movie he has been brought out of the dreams. Every
supposedly.
movie. No.
I got your back, Jarvis. Supposedly. All right, so let's move on to a different movie. Tell us about some of the other films that you were in, and the roles you played there and stuff, because it's a completely different thing. You're in a horror genre. When you was that the first one? Was that where you got your start?
That was my first horror movie,
Okay,
but it was not my first film. I did a 3D film called Surfer Girl. I did either Hots or Gas Pump Girls. They were real close together. In Hots, I play a sorority girl. I'm in the Pie group, and we are not very nice. We are the wealthier, prettier girls, and we're kind of mean to the other sororities. So, and my personality in that, I'm not very nice. And it is a comedy, and I get it a couple times. I get like dishwasher suds poured on my head, and different things happen to me. But Hots is actually kind of a fun film. It was a lot of fun to film. And I just played the kind of in the mean, nasty girls. And then the other one, Gas Pump Girls, I play the girlfriend of Kirsten Baker from Friday the 13th, 5, I think. She is the star of it, and her uncle owns a gas station, an old gas station. He has a heart attack and goes into the hospital, but she wants to save his gas station. She doesn't want to go under, but right across the street from her gas station is a brand new super duper gas station.
7-Eleven.
Huh?
7-Eleven.
So they're stealing all the business. And so she gets her girlfriends to come in and dress sexy and to wait on the cars, pump the gas and do all that stuff. So that's the story, is us trying to save the gas station by bringing in the guys and getting them not to go across the street. Again, it's a lot of fun.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of people that have actually seen it because they commented on me. I've had people bring me posters, original posters and things from it. And you can still get it. I have, when I go to shows, sometimes I take both of them with me to sell. But yeah, so they were both fun. In Gas Pump Girls, I am a nice girl trying to help my friend, just having a good time flirting and doing all of those things.
Yep. Very cool. All right, so we're gonna check that one out. I have to check that one out. You've seen that one, Mark?
I've seen it. It was a few years back. I seen it because I get bored and try to find movies that in the 80s because or 70s 80s because they have not always the best dial, the best scripts, but the way that they go about stuff is totally different than now.
Oh, dude, they made better movies back then. I think if they would have had better CGI and boom mics and stuff like that, I think everything would have been much different than
I'm still one that watches. I'll sit there, at least once a year. I'll sit there and watch Porky's. I'll watch,
Yeah.
just stuff like that because I like them because not the best acting always, but some of them that's their first film and stuff like that. But
Sure.
it's always great to watch movies like that because they had better plots than some of the movies that they have now.
And you can't make most of those anymore.
No.
No, we were talking about that. We were talking about that, the movies that don't age well. There's a lot of vulgarity that you can't bring to the screen today because people are going to be like, oh, that's racist, or nope, can't say that.
Right.
Politically incorrect.
Absolutely.
So that's why we go back and watch. That's why I go back and watch stuff like that. Like we were talking earlier. I really enjoy Monty Python stuff. A lot of the people that I work with, they don't understand it. I'll walk around quoting some of that stuff, and I'm like,
Some of Mel Brooks's movies when we did them. I didn't watch barely any of them when I was growing up, but I watched them, and I was like, wow,
they're treasures for sure.
Yeah, stuff that definitely could not be made nowadays.
Yeah, we had a Mel Brooks day, and we just kind of a couple of us just picked a couple of movies, and we were like, "This is one you got to watch. This is why you got to watch it." And then if you made it today, does it age well? A lot of his stuff doesn't age well.
Blazing Saddles alone could not be made today.
Yeah.
It's true.
So true.
So the one thing that we have not asked you yet is how and why did you get into acting?
Well, in school, of course, you have choices for electives. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't really a big sports person, but I did love the arts. So I thought about all the different ones I could do, and I just thought, I think I'll try drama and acting. And I started that in middle school, and I played Alice in Wonderland and just had the best time. It got very good reviews, and I thought,
Excellent.
You know what, this is fun. So I was doing both dance production, choreography, and acting. And I fell in love with it. So I went through middle school with it. I went into high school with it and into college, and then started going to, in Hollywood, at the theaters, you can go to improv classes and all of that. So I started doing those. And then most people know that when my dad got really sick with cancer, and when he did, he needed money to go to Mexico. There was a treatment called Leotrel that they had some hope for, and he really wanted to try it, and he needed more money to do that. So someone said, well, why don't you try for Playboy? So that's what I did, and I made it, and I was able to help him with that trip and everything. So unfortunately, it did not help, and we lost him. but it was worth a try. But after that, of course, being in Playboy, it brought me a lot of other jobs, commercials and lots of clothing and foreign commercials and print ads. So it really did jolt my career, although that isn't why I did it, but that was the good part about it. So yeah, so that kind of started it, and then the roles started coming in, and then of course the big one, Halloween.
Yeah.
So, and then I ended up getting married and moving to Oregon, and then getting a divorce, and my whole life kind of went to hell. So that's when I left Hollywood, and then whenever they wanted me to put my footage in 2018, my current agent had been looking for me for about 8 years. He finally found me, and he said, Blumhouse is wanting to put your footage in 2018, but they need your signature. So he got me in touch with Blumhouse, and they ended up getting permission to put me in that. And since then, I had people say, well, why do you should go back into acting and get on Facebook and stuff. So I thought, well, maybe I'm still alive. So,
listen, you've had a fruitful career, and why, I don't know. If it were me, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'm here in case somebody wants to put me in a part or something. Mark's over here still waiting to die, so he's like, I just want to be be in a film so I can be a dead person. I'm like,
I'm not waiting to die. I'm waiting for somebody to kill me on screen.
There you go.
That's a different story.
There you go. He's got a very, very wide range of being able to die.
Sorry, I'm only so tall, so you can only do so much.
If you were contacted, if somebody reached out to you from one of these fan films and said, hey, we're doing a fan film and we're going to do a story of, I don't know, the Myers prior to Michael being born or something like that, would that be something that you would say, hey, I'm game, I'll try it out? Or in any aspect, would there be any kind of breaking point where you're like, no, I don't want to do it that way?
Right. A lot of it has to do with my agent. He tries to steer me clear of any lawsuits or anything that would be a problem with the owners of Halloween.
Okay.
So I have to be careful not to do anything that would be an infringement.
Okay.
I understand that.
Why is Friday the 13th so big then in the fan?
Why? Because it was tied up in a lawsuit for so long that they're not making money off of it. There's a difference on the fan films. Don't make money off of it. They ask for help. They're asking.
Yeah.
Do the campaigns and stuff. But most of them want to make the Friday the 13th film that they think is out there. Halloween doesn't have they have the right people doing the movies. We went over 10 years or more, Stephen, you'll tell me. I think it was 10 years, 12 years, something like that, without a movie. So everybody wanted something to do with it. Now, Michael Myers, it's like him, he goes away for a little while and then he'll come back. But Jason went away and we haven't seen him. Big difference.
Okay.
It's like soon you're going to see people making Nightmare on Elm Street movies because we haven't had a good one in a long time.
People are doing it already, I'm sure.
Well, they have Dylan's Nightmare, and which is good. It's a continuation of the new Nightmare, not
as long as it's not infringing, I think on
no, they got permission. They got permission and all that.
And that's what she was saying too.
Right. And there hasn't been, like I said, there hasn't been a whole lot of movies for Halloween for fan films. Not that I've seen. I've seen a couple, and I don't care for them.
Are you? Do you? So you just got back on social media? Is that right? Or you're just
I've
getting
been
onto
on
social?
there about 3 years now, I guess. I was actually at Texas Frightmare, and one of the fans said to me, you really should get on social media because I hate not being able to communicate with you until the next convention. So I thought about it, and I actually found someone who knew how to set it up to make it more secure than just a regular one. And so that's when I did it. I started with just a Facebook, and then when I had enough fans, I got a fan page, and then Instagram. So now I have all three,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
it's a ton of fun. I love it.
that's how I got a hold of hers on Facebook. I wrote her, and she wrote back like I think a day later, or not even that. And then she asked, if she could see a clip of it. So that's when I sent her CJ Graham's interview.
CJ was super awesome to have on the show too. You guys are all like, when Mark was like, "Hey, I want to get more people from the horror genre because that's where I like, he likes to have."
They're
those
nicer.
fo-
They're
You
nicer.
guys are. I listen. I get it. So have you watched any stuff on TikTok or Facebook Reels?
No, I don't do TikTok.
Okay.
I don't.
I just want
I
to
don't
show
want to
you.
go political, so
Uh-oh.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to show you. There's a gentleman. His name is Evan. They're out of Decatur.
Michael Myers of Decatur.
He's the Michael Myers of Decatur, and the videos that the family puts on is absolutely fantastic.
He's got his son doing it now. It's funny.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, he's got a little Michael Myers, and then he has this is let me just pull this up. Pull this, bada bing. Make sure we got some audio here.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
Oh shit. This is too much, Evan. Seriously. I'm trying to be calm and collected this Halloween, but you're taking it too far with your little jokes. Okay? I'm tired of this. People walk this trail and they're not going to appreciate it. I'm serious. Where's the baby? You said you were going to watch Harrison for me tonight so I could do some errands. Harrison. No, you come here. Stop. Get the knife out of your eye. Come on, get in the truck. You're done.
That's hilarious.
Just something, because these guys, like, when I saw that, I was like, I fell on the floor. I was laughing so hard. I was like, dang it, man, this is funny.
I love watching their shit. I love it when when the cops stop him and he won't talk, he won't change his character, nothing. And she comes out of the house and says, "What did he do this?" And goes, "Damn it, Evan, what did you do?" And
what'd you do this time?
Yeah, and just looks at her, and the cops are telling him, "Put the knife down, put the knife down." And I know it's all a ploy and stuff like that, but they get calls on him a lot.
When you guys were on set for that, was there a lot of joking and playing around and stuff, or was there any other movies that you were on scene or on the set for where you guys were able to goof off and do silly stuff like that?
Halloween really wasn't one of those. It was a super busy set with very few people doing a lot of stuff. It was very low budget. So there really wasn't. It was pretty tight scheduling with practicing and staging and all of that. We were using the brand new camera system, and so not so much On Hots and Gas Pump Girls, absolutely. We had a great time. There was at the gas station, there was music playing because, we were dancing and trying to get the guys to come in. So even when we weren't filming, we were still dancing and having a good time.
Now, Brian has had a question, but I'm going to ask it since he, asked a lot of my questions as it was. He wants to know. Yeah, this first question out of his mouth was, to me, was, did she meet Hugh Hefner?
I did many times, actually. As a playmate, I could go to the mansion pretty much anytime I wanted to and bring my girlfriends. So we would go up and you could order anything you wanted to eat, day or night. You could swim. He had all kinds of video games and, that kind of stuff. He had a zoo that was on property. And of course, I love animals. So we would go out and walk through the zoo and visit with the animals. They always had parties and volleyball and Easter egg hunts. It was just a fun place. They had a big, like a plant nursery where you could it was just beautiful. So for me, coming from a low to middle class family, my dad did better later on, but when my formative years, we really didn't have a lot of money or a lot of things. So being able to go somewhere and order anything you want to eat, and swim in this beautiful pool and, just walk over to the zoo was pretty amazing to me.
Telling your friends, let's go to the mansion. Let's go.
So, I did meet him many times at the mansion because he had a big theater in there. You could go in and watch movies, and he was generally there somewhere.
And from what I've heard, and I don't know how true it is, but I've heard he was super down to earth. He was always very cordial and very friendly with everyone, not just the women, but the men as well. Is that accurate?
Yeah, he had a lot of male friends that were there. He was always nice to me. I never saw him not be nice to anyone. Yeah. And he was nice. When he was sitting in there watching the movies or whatever, he was just like anybody else, passing the popcorn.
Very cool. Mark, are you frozen? Oh, you were frozen there for a second there, buddy.
I had to look at the animals to see what they were doing.
What was your next question?
Oh, that was the question. I just wanted to
Oh my goodness. You said you had a few questions.
I don't remember saying a few. I said
this guy.
But yeah, kiss my ass, Brian. Anyway.
Books. Are you working on any books or anything like that? Any literature or anything like that? Is that something that drives you as well?
Writing books?
Yeah.
I am not, but one day I would like to write one. I had a lot of things happen in my life with, my dad's sickness. My mother was mentally ill for a long time, and I lived with her through a lot of that. So there's a lot of things in my life growing up that I think would make an interesting story. So maybe one of these days when I have time.
Put it out there.
Oh, I'd buy it.
I may have to wait until I have some family members that aren't here anymore.
Oh. Just put it together and listen to hey, don't buy my book. You're not allowed to read it. And if anybody tells you that you should read it, you shouldn't. That's what you tell your family.
Or I'll just give them a different name and maybe they won't recognize themselves.
Yeah, you got to totally write it under a pseudonym. So,
Yeah, I think there's some things of interest that people would find interesting for sure.
You said something earlier. You said you were married once before. How old were you when you first got married?
I was 26. First time I got married.
26. How many years did that last?
I was married 5, I think. I was married 5 years.
Okay. And then now you're married to, was that the only other marriage that you had besides the one you're in now? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And this one, I've been married almost 40 years.
40 years?
She's got
40.
us beat.
That's not a marriage. That's a life sentence. I'm at, Mark and I think, are working with our wives on 27.
I'm going on I think you're going on 27. I've been with my wife for 26 years. We've been married. This April will be 24.
Nice. That's
So
awesome.
I'm hoping I can hit 40. I got to live long enough that she doesn't kill me first.
I think Brian met his wife and married her, and 2 weeks later.
It wasn't 2 weeks.
Okay, 3. A month.
I think I met my wife. We dated it was weird. We only dated for about 6-7 months. And then I was like, I really like you a lot. Like, you take care of me. You do things for me that I wouldn't expect any other woman to do for me. So I was like, do you want to get married? And she was like, yeah, sure. I was like, oh shit.
She probably
spoke too soon. Damn it. She does. She regrets it.
My wife regrets it some days too, but
she says that I have a hearing problem, and I keep saying what?
My wife says I have a listening problem, a hearing problem, a talking problem, all different types of problems. But
you're just ate up with problems, then.
Yeah. She married me, so she's stuck with me.
All right, so this new movie that you're in, The Executioner, that's a 2024 film.
Yes,
is that out now?
It started filming in late 2023.
Okay,
and it is currently filming in and around Daytona Beach, which is where I went to do my scenes. And they did my scenes first because I was doing a convention in Florida. So they could split the airfare and stuff with the convention. So they did mine first. And it was amazing. Like I said, it was my first time on a set in, I don't know, 40 years or something. And it was very cool. And it was a great role. I mean, I loved it as a psychiatrist trying to help a young man who is very disturbed. And yeah, it's a great role. I'm excited about it. I've seen some of the footage. Very nice. So I think it's going to be a good one.
Who else that we may know is in that is going to be in that film?
Oh gosh, I'm terrible with names.
It's okay. You can say pass. You don't have to.
I'll just say one of the ladies is kind of a famous wrestler.
Shotzi.
Yeah, there you go.
Shotzi's in it.
Yes, and
okay. I was just looking up names.
Braden. Damn, I hate it when I can't remember last names. But Braden is the young man. He is amazing. He's so good, so good. So yeah, I'm excited about the people in it for sure.
So there you go, Mark. There's something filming over in Daytona Beach. Drive your happy ass over there and see if you can be an extra. Look, you'll make it into a movie.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. It means I have to drive.
And then in Pareidolia, which is being filmed, or it's already been filmed in UK, I did it online, but I am a midnight disc jockey in that one.
Pareidolia. How does that name come about? What is that?
Pareidolia means that you see something that isn't really there. So like if you look at the clouds and you see an eagle, or you look up and you see a window and just for a second you thought you saw somebody standing in it, but there's really nobody there when you look again. That's pareidolia. It's the idea of seeing something that's not real.
What a fantastic name for a film.
Yeah, it's the perfect name for this film.
Okay.
The one that's got my attention is Bury That Hatchet.
Bury the Hatchet. Yes, another excellent role. They have shot some of it. They haven't brought me out to California yet to do my role, but I am the mother in that one of a very sick son.
Is his name Michael?
No.
What? Listen, it's like a full circle. You know what I'm saying? So it comes full circle, I think. So
Right.
that's fantastic. I'm glad that you're able to go in there and get back into the acting, because I'm sure if you didn't love it, it would be something you'd be like, I'm done. You know, I'm over it.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I have some other roles coming up that I'm pretty sure are going to be mine. And I'm getting a lot of nice roles, which is just amazing. A lot of them have expanded the roles for me. They started out kind of small, and then they ended up expanding them to give me bigger parts, which has been really nice.
Fantastic. That is fantastic.
Okay, Glick, you're not funny. I could just imagine what type of. Yeah, no.
It's going to be about the pyramids. Anyway, we'll touch more on that next month. So typically we ask our guest here for an hour, and you have been super gracious and you've given us an hour. Is there anything that you would like to talk about, discuss, ask us? I mean, we're not interesting at all, so nobody ever really.
Hold on. Wait. Time out, Brian. There's one other thing that we do ask our guests if they wouldn't mind doing, and that's introducing our next guest. For next week's show, our leap year show, what we're going to call it, or something like that. I don't know. Her name's Jamie Hill. She's a upcoming actress. I don't know if you've seen any of her. She's a Canadian actress. That's where mostly her movies are at right now. One of them's called
Skinamarink.
Skinamarink. Yep.
Yep.
You still have not watched, but you need to.
Is it that good?
I'm not going to confirm or deny that accusation.
Okay.
It's a horror, psychiatrical horror. Yeah, I probably said that wrong.
I bet you Sandy would watch it and be like, "Yeah, it's either really good or it's terrible."
It's weird. I'll tell you this much: it's weird. But you got to have patience for it. But Jamie Hill was supposed to be on our show not too long ago, but illness in the family, so we rescheduled her for Leap Day, and I thought that was a perfect day for her. But we were just curious to see if you wouldn't mind, telling our viewers she'll be on next week.
Yeah, I can do that. You want to wait till I'm done?
Yeah.
Or now?
Yes. No, we're gonna wait until you're done. We'll get to the very end, and we'll ask you. We'll pull us off the screen. We'll remind you who it is. We'll do the whole. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to say that, and I try and always say this: I love horror fans. I truly do. They have truly changed my life. They are so kind and good to me everywhere I go. I mean, they're just such a loving group of people. I can't get over what a great group of people they are, and how much I look forward to seeing them at conventions, on Facebook. It's just an amazing group of people to me, and I just want them to know that I love them, and I'm grateful for every single one of them, and all the ones that reach out to me and follow me and come see me. I just so appreciate that.
Perfect.
And conventions, I love. When I did my first convention 5 years ago, I had no idea if I was going to like it or not. And after it was over, my agent said, "Well, what did you think? Do you want to do another one?" And I said, "Hell yeah!" Sign me up. I had the best time. So that I was pretty much addicted from the first one. That was age 40, and then of course I just did age 45 again, which marked 5 years. So conventions are the best. The sponsors, all of the fans. And then also, of course, I have a website, which is unicornsandyj.com. Unicorn comes from my agent's nickname for me. He said I was a magical, mystical creature that he thought he would never see. So I picked it up. So I'm Unicorn Sandy J. And on there, I have, regular collectibles. They can send in things for me to sign. I'll send them back. They can buy photos of me and I'll sign them. I have a couple things I've actually created myself. I have one of the Halloween knives and I do blood splatter and stuff on it and autograph it. I have a Young Michaels mask that I splatter and sign. And
yeah, I'm going on that website after I'm done.
And I have Judas hairbrush. I have a hairbrush. Again, I splatter and sign it. So it's just kind of fun collectibles that you can only get, from my website. Plus, I list podcasts and upcoming films and all of that stuff on there as well.
Awesome.
Nice.
So you are staying busy. So you don't have time to garden then. You're way too busy for that.
Not right now. I am planning a small garden at the new house. So at some point I'm going to be able to get back to this passion. But it's probably not for a while.
Gotcha. All right. So unicornsandyj.com is your website. And that's also going to be that's going to link to your Facebook page. Is that right? That has a link to your Facebook.
Yeah, it has links to Facebook and Instagram.
And Instagram. Okay.
Facebook is the real Sandy Johnson.
I just don't know how to use Instagram enough. So I have it on my phone. I'm like, I don't know. It's not like Facebook for some reason. I just can't figure it out.
It is a little trickier than Facebook for sure. I prefer Facebook. It deals with videos and things, links better.
Sure.
I have my Facebook linked to my Instagram, so whatever I put on Instagram or Facebook, it'll go over to Instagram automatically.
Easy enough. Right. I got to figure that. I got to figure that part out.
I can show you that part.
Okay. All right.
I have to show you everything else.
Whatever. So let's see here. You want to tell your husband hello?
Hey, Danny, baby, love you.
I hope he watches the show or at least gets a chance to watch it after. So
what the hell? My wife doesn't even watch the show.
I'd like to shout out to my agent too, Rick Enrique.
Absolutely.
He's the best.
So if I need an agent, I need to call who?
Rick Enrique.
Rick Enrique.
It's Greek.
Are you planning on leaving the show?
I'd like to. I'm just saying, maybe dabble in some acting or something.
Yeah, he actually only does conventions. I'm still.
Never mind, I can't do that either.
Yeah, I'm still looking for a theatrical.
Theatrical. Okay.
Agent. I don't have that yet. So far, I'm still representing myself.
There's tons of them out there, so we'll put the word out on our side too. So
yeah, if you ever come to
looking, so
yeah, I'm hoping that you come to one of the horror cons down here. I went to Spookilla 2 years ago, and I got Nick Castle's autograph, and man, such a nice guy.
I was there last year.
I did not know. Oh, wait a minute. I could not go to that one.
And yes, he is a nice guy. All of the Halloween cast are super nice people.
I'm still trying. Like I said, you're just the start of, trying to get Halloween people on here. I've been trying to get like Daniel Harris on here, and even from the newer Halloweens or Rob Zombie Halloween, stuff like that. I really would like to see more.
We have to just be more interesting, I think. You're just terrible at this. You're not interesting at all, Mark. All right. So she gave us a whole hour here, over an hour, Mark. You want to let this young lady go?
Oh,
you want to let her do her thing?
Yes, we'll let her do her thing, and then she could stay for the outro because I made a special one just for her. So she can watch that, and then she can go if she wants. I won't keep her hostage any longer.
Sandy, we're going to pull us off the screen. Our upcoming guest next Thursday?
Is Jamie Hill.
That's it. There you go. Jamie Hill next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in to
Okay.
Talking Shit.
Jamie Hill coming up next Thursday, 8 p.m. Jamie Hill.
Just like
Did I
that.
miss something?
Nope.
8
Nope.
p.m.
We're gonna
Eastern Standard Time.
That's
Right.
fine. We're gonna pull us off the screen. We're gonna let you do that.
Got it. Hey, next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be here for Jamie Hill.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect. All right. You want to play the outro and let her watch that? Miss Sandy, thank you so much. You've been
Thank you.
absolutely amazing.
Of course. Nice meeting you guys, and thank you
You're
for taking the time to make a nice intro.
Thank you for being so humble and doing what you do. And we will absolutely check out. I'm really ready to watch this movie Executioner now. So it sounds like it's going to be really good. And then this other one, Paradolia, sounds fantastic as well. So definitely going to end up.
A lot of them that are on there sound
Yep.
really good, and that she hasn't done yet. They already have her on there, so
Yep.
Yeah,
you should check them out as it is.
some good scripts coming up.
Ready
But-
for it. Ready for it.
All right. So, Brian, would you like to send
What
us
you
out?
want me to do?
Send us out.
All right, fine. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you all for showing up tonight and enjoying Miss Sandy Johnson the way we did. From us here at Talking Shit, I'm Brian.
I'm Mark.